Republicans are suing Republicans. I've got this right? This is now what we do in Indiana. We don't lower taxes. We just have a supermajority so they can sue other members of the supermajority. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. Good to be with you. IBJ with the story. Casey Smith reporting via the Indiana Capitol Chronicle. Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith backing a lawsuit, he amongst others, against the state GOP, saying that party leaders have undermined the rights of delegates by making convention changes beyond their authority. So it names a couple of different Republicans, and the complaint alleges that party leadership repeatedly silenced delegates, bypassed convention procedures, and rewrote internal rules without consent. So the complaint says that the leadership refuses to allow certain issues to be voted on by the convention, including motions and resolutions proposed by delegates, and then misleading the convention about their rights, changing rules in ways that undermine the rights of delegates and the rights of the convention as a body. I know I'd have to hear the other side of this. I'd have to understand what is going on, because it could be that's happening. You know, to find myself on the side of what the Republican Party in Indiana has done to the Republican Party in Indiana, I off the cuff seems like a hard one for me. Truly does. That said, we should be clear that what has taken place over the last 6 months from the Republican Party, I only hope they know, not a great look. They tried to sell us on the idea that property tax reform was valuable. That's not, no one buys that. You raise taxes. No one's happy with that. You attacked an industry, specifically cigars, despicable stuff. You attacked an industry. You said, we have a shortfall. Let's raise taxes on cigars. You know what you should have raised taxes on? Kale. You should have raised taxes on lawyers. Lawyers should pay an extra tax to cover the shortfall. That's how it should happen. And they shouldn't be allowed to raise their rates. No. What? You went after an industry. You went after cigars. You went after mom and pop shops. You went after small business owners. I want you to go after lawyers. Dear Lord. How about hedge fund managers? You know what? Teachers. Let the teachers pick up the bill. No Republican should be looking at the party today and saying, man, this is the model. Really isn't a great model. Now, you're better than the Democratic Party. These people are a big, hot, stinking mess. And I can break it down to any subject matter you like. Their inability to connect, their inability to win, when there are clear opportunities for them to do so. And I still argue we would be better off without a supermajority in Indiana, because maybe it would force the Republicans to actually work harder and have more focus. Be bold. Which you should be able to do with a supermajority, yet somehow, nope. But this is interesting. This is interesting what's being argued here. I will state very, very clearly, I've had Micah Beckwith on the show. I think it's been twice. Maybe it's 3 times. I don't know. They haven't been stellar performances. I have spoken in depth and at length about the madness that is Diego Morales. He's an embarrassing person with an embarrassing staff. The staff is embarrassing. Nobody in that staff says, yeah, I don't want to be around this anymore. Not one person. It's like the staff of Joe Hogsett. Nobody says, you know what? Maybe this isn't somebody to work for. Maybe I'm better than this. Not a one. Not a member of the Morales staff, the Secretary of State, not a one says, dear Lord, the hiring the brother-in-law, the trips, no one. That's an amazing thing to witness. No, I think that the lieutenant governor on my show, at least, really did beclown himself twice. It was unnecessary, to say the once during the campaign, twice on the show. Ugh. It's you can smile all you want, but it's not a great look. But that doesn't mean that in this case that the lieutenant governor is particularly wrong. So I will get with the Republican Party. I will get with the people engaged in this lawsuit and see what the issue is. Are the people being denied their rights from the party to allow certain people to keep access to power? Because that dog won't hunt. The popcorn moment. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's a story you need to hear to believe. Then grab your popcorn because there is more. Booher Remodeling. Doing fine work. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. All right. I have a series of things to get to. But I think where we're at is that last night was the ESPY Awards. This is ESPN giving out some awards because everybody has to have an award show. And I am convinced that we need to have WIBC awards. Why not? Why shouldn't we have WIBC awards? I can give out an award. Kendall and Casey can give out an award. Hammer and Nigel. Guy Relford can give out an award. Ethan, Tony Kinnett, Abdul. Why not? Why can't we do this? I think it'd be fun. Everybody has an award show. And this is ESPN, the home of woke garbage. And sometimes they talk about sports. Producer Carl, how good would the WIBC Awards be?
It'd be great.
Thank you. I'm so glad we practiced this at rehearsal. Anyway, Shane Gillis is hosting the ESPYs. Talk about a guy who has won. Here's a guy who gets hired by Saturday Night Live, then gets fired because of his, unacceptable tweets. And then, I don't know, it's 10 years later, he's everywhere. He won. He won, and the Saturday Night Live goofballs and woke folk lost. He's hosting the ESPYs. And he does a Jeffrey Epstein joke that is tremendous. Now, I don't think he curses, but finger on the dump button just in case there. Producer Carl.
John Jones and Nate Diaz are here. Hell yeah. I had a couple drinks with those guys last night at the hotel, and it was terrifying. Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died. All right. You don't have to do that. It was fine. I didn't write it. Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
I'm sorry. That's incredible. The Pence joke is excellent. It's an excellent, well-crafted joke, but the Epstein reference is brutal. So for those people telling me that the only reason anybody's talking about the release of the Epstein stuff is because they create content, that's the ESPYs. It's in I believe the term would be the zeitgeist. Are we that pretentious to use zeitgeist? No? Yet? That joke is world class. And then, to all the respect of the world to Shane Gillis, he ended with the Norm Macdonald joke. Norm Macdonald hosted the ESPYs. I forget what year it was. It was the year Charles Woodson won the Heisman. And it is an absolutely brilliant joke. And Shane Gillis giving all the props to Norm said, I wanted to end with this. Here's that joke from Norm.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? Huh? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off. Just a word of advice.
The OJ joke. It's too good. I apologize for the delay, Matt Bear.